Strengths, weaknesses, assets, liabilities. I'm human, you're human. Everybody that you come in contact with on earth is human. And we all have these things. Everybody on earth has something that they do well, or some things that they do well, and some things that they don't do well, right? No one man is built to do all things well. That's the purpose of a team. That's the purpose of us using each other as human race on earth, right? We're gonna talk about it from two different perspectives today, okay? The first one is this. As a leader, I don't care if you're in a business, I don't care if you're on a team, I don't care if you're teaching. As a leader, your responsibility is to put your teammates or your employees in position to win. I'm gonna say that again. Very profound, I'm gonna say that again. As a leader, it is your responsibility to put your teammates, your students, or your employees in position to win. What that looks like is this. Everybody on earth has strengths, weaknesses, assets, and liabilities. Your job is to put your teammates, students, and employees in position for their strengths and assets to be exposed at all times. At all times. On the flip side of that, your responsibility is to put them also in position for their liabilities, right, and their weaknesses to never be exposed. What that looks like is this. If I'm a point guard on a basketball team, and I know my big man, his strength is perimeter shooting. He's not the most physical big in the world. He don't like banging down low. He don't like posting anybody up, backing him down, right? He might not be the biggest guy in the world, but he can shoot the light out the gym. What I'm gonna do as a point guard is I'm gonna continue driving down the lane. I'm gonna force that big that's guarding him to crash on me and try to block my shot. When he crashes, my big goes out to the corner. Outlet pass. Outlet pass. Now his strength is on display. What he does very well is being exposed now. My big, because I set him up to be successful, I set him up for his strengths to be exposed. Now he's knocking that shot down. Now he looks phenomenal, right? That's what that looks like. That's what that looks like. I'm gonna give you two examples. We're gonna stay on basketball, right? I'm gonna give you two examples. The first example is this, right? In 2020, there was a team that won the championship in the bubble. And that team was named the Los Angeles Lakers. There's a guy on that team by the name of LeBron James, who's a pretty older guy, but can still play the game of basketball. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've heard of him, okay? But he plays more of a point forward position, meaning he's a forward, big guy, right? But he plays more of a point guard position. Can pass the ball, right? Facilitate, run the offense, run the plays. Everything goes through him, right? However, 2021, the Lakers go out and they get a point guard by the name of Russell Westbrook, right? Phenomenal guy. We all know Russell Westbrook. Mr. Triple-Double, first ballot Hall of Fame. I mean, a monster, right? However, one of his weaknesses, one of his liabilities is that he cannot shoot the basketball. Perimeter shooting is not his strong point. Now, he'll make a three every now and then. He'll make a jump shot every now and then, but that's not his strong point. His strong point as far as scoring the ball is getting to the rim, finishing, or just dunking it on you and looking at you, right? With that nasty walkaway that he has, right? That scowl on his face, that heart, right? That nasty, that dog. That's his scoring. It's not from the outside knocking threes down all game, right? So they go out, they get Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook, they put him at the point guard position. Now, as I had expected, the plays are still running through LeBron James. I didn't understand the move personally because I knew that the plays were still going to be running through LeBron James, but that's what happened, right? So LeBron James is running the plays. He's driving down the lane and dishing the ball out to Russell Westbrook in the corner. And I'm sitting here like, that's not his game. That's not. So, as predicted, Russell Westbrook is not knocking down these shots. That's not his game. That's not his strength. That's not his asset. That's not what he's good at doing. As a result, the Lakers wound up losing a lot in the early part of the season, right? Now, you fast forward to the later part of the season, you have LeBron James now in the corner and Russell Westbrook is running the plays. Roles have been reversed. Russell Westbrook is now driving down the lane and passing the ball out to LeBron. LeBron, one of his strengths is shooting the ball. So LeBron is catching the ball, making the shots. Now you start winning. That's what happens when you put your teammates in position for their assets and strengths to be displayed, right? Now, from a second perspective in basketball, in 1990s, there was this team called the Chicago Bulls. And in 96, they won the NBA Finals 3 years in a row, 96, 97, 98. Now, there was a kid on that team named Dennis Rodman, who in my opinion was probably the most valuable person on that team. Yes, we all know Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Yes, we know Scottie Pippen. But in my opinion, Dennis Rodman was the guy on that team that was the glue, held the team together. And he had so many responsibilities, but one of his big responsibilities was rebounding. I mean, he was known for rebounding all throughout the league, even before he got with the Bulls, right? Most rebounds in the year multiple times. Rebounding champion multiple times. Defensive player of the year multiple times. Had won a couple rings with the Pistons, right? So he had already known what his strength was. So in 95, 96, the Bulls, Jerry Reinsdorf, he goes out and he gets Dennis Rodman from the San Antonio Spurs, and he gets Dennis Rodman to get those rebounds, right, and pass the ball out to Jordan. Now, at this time, Dennis Rodman is averaging like 15 to 20 rebounds a game, right? Well, I say 15, and on occasion he would get 20 plus. That's potentially 20 extra shots for Jordan. That's 40 extra points for Jordan. So we're using his strength, right? Put him in position to use his strength to make the team better. Jordan's strength is what? We all know. Scoring the basketball. Shooting. That's Jordan's strength, right? That's an example of what happens when you put people in position to win. You put people in position for their strength and their asset to be on Front Street and be displayed 24/7, right? As a result, these guys won 3 championships back to back to back, right? So that's what it is. And as a leader, it doesn't matter whether you're a business owner. It doesn't matter whether you're a coach or you're a teacher. You put your students, your employees, and your teammates in position to win. You put them in position for their strengths and their assets to be displayed. Put it on Front Street, right? That's how a good team is built. Everybody's strength is on display and it's working. Multiple parts are working. Everything that I do well, we doing that, right? At the same time, the flip side of that is the things that they don't do well, their liabilities and their weaknesses, you hide them. Mr. Mike Glenn taught me that, and I appreciate that as a mentor. He taught me that. Mr. Mike Glenn, the Stinger, for those who watch Dogs games, Hawks Live, been watching Dominique Wilkins in the 80s. He played with Dominique, right? He taught me that, right? Now, let's think about it from another perspective, and let's visit the dark side real quick, right? Walk with me real quick, all right? When I was in college, my freshman year, I wanted to win very bad. And that started out with me not necessarily winning games for my team, but me first and foremost getting on the field as a freshman, right? And when I walked into my college as a freshman, I mean, this is D1. This is baseball like I've never seen baseball before, right? This is that kind of baseball. And I had 4 guys that was competing with me at my position. And I had notes written down of the other 3 guys, what they did well, what they did not do well, right? What their strengths was, what their weaknesses were, things like that. And I wanted to make sure that whatever their weakness was, I worked on 5 times as hard, because I wanted to make sure that that was my strength. In addition to whatever other strengths I had, I wanted to add their weakness to my arsenal, because I wanted to make sure that the coaches knew I could do that. Whatever they can't do, I can do, right? I can do that. And whatever they did well, either I had to make sure I did it twice as good as they did it, right? Or I had to make sure that they were never in position to show what they did well, as much as I possibly could. Whatever I can control, that's what I focused on, right? How can I put myself in position to look better than you do, okay? And that's the importance of it, right? So you have to be maniacal about understanding strengths and weaknesses from a leadership standpoint and from a competitive standpoint. If I know a guy can't do this very well, I'm going to expose that in you. I am. Right? And all the greats do it. So my young athletes out there, don't feel bad about that. Don't feel bad. The guys that we look at as leaders and the best and whatever they did, that's what they do. That's what they do. It's okay. We're going to expose your weakness. I got on my Georgia stuff right now. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go there with you real quick. All right. I got on my Georgia stuff right now. Now, Previous Saturday, we just played Bama for the SEC championship game. Jesus, 2021. Obviously, we were the #1 team. We were undefeated. You never know what Nick Saban is going to do. You just don't. I mean, you don't. Because there's a way for him to figure out what you're not good at and to go at that all game. I'm going to give you a case in point. 2 of them. I want to say it was 2018, I think, or it might have been 17, when they beat us in the Dome. I think it was in the Dome for the national championship. We had one weak spot on that team. One. I mean, this is the team with all of our draft picks, everybody, Sony Michel and Chubb and like these guys. This is that team. We had one weak spot. We had a specific DB, a defensive back that Nick Saban kept throwing at the whole game. And they beat us because he saw that one weak spot. We fast forward a couple years to 2021, this year, Saturday, 2 days ago, and Nick Saban is maniacal about tearing apart our secondary because he knows we're young. That has been our only weakness. Our front seven, our defensive linemen and our linebackers have been handling their business the entire year. I mean, we probably got 4 or 5 draft picks just on that alone, out of 7 people alone, in that front 7. So our secondary has not really had to do a whole lot. Nick Saban exposes the secondary. First, he spreads out the defense. He has linebacker. First play of the game was a screen pass over to the sideline, right? He's spreading out the defense, making the linebackers run everywhere. The second thing is he's throwing the ball downfield when we're getting exposed. That's what I mean when I say that. Understand strengths and weaknesses, right? So understand it from 2 different perspectives. As a leader, I don't care if you're a coach, you're a team captain, right? You're a business owner or you're a teacher. Put your employees, teammates, athletes, students in position to win, all right? Put them in position for their assets and their strengths to be displayed at all times. On the flip side, make sure that their liabilities and their weaknesses are not displayed at all, okay? Other side is the dark side, right? Whatever your competition's weakness is, go at that. Go at it and expose it. That's your job, right? I'm gonna leave you with this. Kevin Garnett said on an interview that one of his older guys that he was listening to would tell him all the time on the court, everybody has doubt when they step on the court, and it's your job to increase that doubt. Apollo Sports Counseling, we out.